attempt to throw it in, attempt again, and attempt one more time, and attempt it once more. I'm Mike Dimas, and this is Pinball Shenanigans. Alright, I thought I'd do a little video on this circuit board here. This is from a Bram Stokers. Bram Stokers? Bram Stokers. It's from a Dracula machine. And it is called a 24 Opto PCB. Why 24? I'm not exactly sure. But this board was only used on a few machines. Dracula, The Shadow, and Star Wars Episode 1. So this is responsible for the missed multi-ball operation. And there's a big giant opto that goes the span of the entire play field from one end to the other. So a beam that shoots all the way across. It's called the long opto beam. And that keeps track of the missed ball when it goes across the play field. And mine stopped working. Just one day, just died. When I first got the Dracula machine, this part here is called an inductor, L1. And it looked like a slinky, like the top popped off and all these little copper coils were popping out the top there. Kind of like a jack-in-the-box with no head. So I replaced it with this guy here. I forgot where I got that from, because that was like 5 years ago. And it worked ever since, until it didn't, which is now. So upon closer examination, I've noticed a couple things. Firstly, this chip here has been replaced at one point, not by me. Okay? That is on the suspect list, but I have two other suspects. Upon very close examination, if you look at the light in the right angle, see that? Look at that bottom capacitor there. It looks to me like that capacitor is leaking. I did some reading, and someone did say change these two capacitors. That should solve your problem. Well, the same issue happened on my friend Henry's board recently. His opto beam was messing up, his missed function. So he replaced these two capacitors, but it did not work. But what he did find is that this component here, resistor R14, was pretty crispy. And so I decided to check mine. And let's have a closer look. Same deal, very crispy. So Henry also pointed out that you can see on the board here, this is labeled as R4 and not R14, so it's actually a mistake. Fortunately, it's not a big one that will throw you into some black hole loop of trying to figure stuff out. So the next step is throw our multimeter into resistance mode and test the resistor. So the one beside it, let's check that for fun. That is 1.5, and if we look at the schematics, R13 on the schematics somewhere is 1.5. So we got a good read there. Now let's go to the suspect component. I did some reading before, trying to diagnose my issue. I don't think I remember anybody mention this resistor, but obviously I'm not very good with chopsticks. Here we go. Come on. Do I got a reading? I actually think I do. It says 27 ohms. M ohms. So is that milliohms, micro ohms, macro ohms, metro ohms? There's a lot of lingo involved here that I'm not all that up to snuff with, but it's not 100. And it's supposed to be R14. Oh, wait a minute. R4 here says 10. Oh, I see. So on this portion of the schematics, it reads as R4, which is correct, 10 ohm. But there's no R14 in the rest. R11, 12, 10, C11, R2, R4. So 10 ohm resistor. So I'm not getting a proper reading. I have a 10 ohm resistor here. So I'm going to swap that in first and see what happens. I can tell you for sure that the board is the issue because I actually went ahead and bought a home pin reproduction of this board. And I popped it in the machine and it works. So for sure the issue is on this board. For sure this is crispy. And maybe replacing just the resistor will fix the problem. So I'll do that and I will be right back. I totally just dropped my board on the ground and a piece fell off. I'm like, no, did I just break off my inductor? Which would have sucked, but fortunately it was just a standoff. So back to my operation here. Okay, I've got the resistor changed. I'm going to pop it in the machine now and see if everything works as it should. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to change both caps either way, but it'll be interesting to just see if this was the solution. If I do the caps and the resistor, I won't know for sure what was the bad component, although we know this red bad, but this looks leaky. So we'll just pop it in with just the resistor replaced and see if it works. Alright, so there's the reproduction home pin opto board in behind, and I've just got this one floating. So I will set up the Miss Multiball and see if it works. Alright, I stuck in the board and the balls. And that awful noise you hear is the... Oh my god, I see smoke. Okay, so we can assume that that did not work. Question is, where is the smoke coming from and why? Further investigation needs to be done, apparently. Wow, okay. I'll be back. Okay, I found my problem. The resistor I just stuck in went up in flames. So why is that, is the question. The answer I do not know at the moment. But if this cap is leaking, it could be the electrolyte that it's left behind is possibly an issue, or the cap itself, of course. So I think the next step is probably to change both caps and the resistor again, and then try again. I was just trying to check the schematics to see. This is C10 and C7 over here. Just trying to look at the schematics to see. Here's that R4 resistor. It does tie into C7. It goes through a diode, but nowhere on the schematic. I may be blind, but I cannot see C10 anywhere. C11, 5, 12, C2, C8, C1, C4, C3. I cannot see C9. Oh, there it is. Way down here. C10. Okay. So that capacitor. It doesn't even, I guess it does tie in when it comes around here. So it's 100 MF. I don't know how many volts. C10 100 MF. So they're both the same. I don't know if I have those in stock, so I'm gonna have a look and I'll be back. Okay, I've removed the 3 components, the 2 caps and the resistor here. I haven't taken a look yet, but let's zoom in and see what it looks like. Yeah, I would say that cap was leaking. I think I'm gonna do a good job of cleaning this board with some rubbing alcohol. That even looks like that one is a little shiny too. But this is the one here that was the obvious suspect. And can't really, yeah, it looks a little slimy. Alright, so I'm going to clean the crap out of this with some 99% isopropyl alcohol and then see if I have these caps in stock and reassemble. So last night I went and checked all my capacitors. I did not have what I needed. I did find one, but it was part of a System 11 power supply rebuild kit, and I didn't want to steal it from the kit unless I had another. So I drove 4 blocks to my local electronics dude, who is awesome, and I found these 100 UF 50 volt caps, and I'm going to pop them in now, and we'll give this another try. I'm pretty sure, I was talking with my electronics guy, like the guy who sold me these, and I showed him the schematics, and he said, basically, you know, if a cap goes bad, that, you know, it is, let's see here, see if I can describe this. Here's the resistor, there's the diode, there's the cap. This is 12 volts coming in here, and if this cap goes bad and shorts, then it's shorting to ground. So if this cap goes bad, resistor goes bad, apparently. That's what I understand the case to be. I don't know what I'm talking about most of the time, but sounds like it's a reasonable conclusion. So bad cap equals bad resistor. That's what I understand the case to be. So replace these 2 guys, pop it in the machine, and see what happens. Alright, there we go. New components installed. I reflowed all the headers just to be sure. I'm pretty sure I did that in the past, but I did it again. And I'll go stick this in the machine, and hopefully we don't get any smoke this time. Okay, I think the first thing I'm going to do is turn on the machine and see if the resistor burns up. Just kind of got it zip tied here so that it's not touching the other board or shorting somehow. So here we go, let's turn it on. And okay, so far so good. I'm going to throw in the balls, lower the playfield, and I'll be right back. Alright, here we go. One of the symptoms of the issue was that the magnet would just kind of go back and forth across the playfield non-stop. That does not appear to be happening. We'll quickly go into switch test here, not earning data. And we're going to test the long opto beam. Oh, shite. Oh, because there's a ball in there, we got to remove it. Now, let's test it. Oh. on magnet. I'm like going by the green mist, but it's actually up here. That's the beam that goes all the way across. So, we are in good shape. One moment, I'm going to set up the mist, and we'll try it out. Oh, yeah, and the other symptom was that opto was not working, but motor going back and forth, opto beam not working. I'm just going to advance to ball 3 one moment. Okay, here we go. Ball 3, mist is lit. And once the ball gets down here, we'll throw it in. Attempt to throw it in. Attempt again. And attempt one more time. And attempt once more. And then one more. And then one more attempt. And then one more. And there we go. Alright. Wow. There we go. Yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna screw that one up. Alright, so there it is. I bought the home pin board just because I didn't know if I was going to be able to repair the old board, but you know, a few bucks in parts and the old board is now good to go. So I am concluding that the capacitor leaked on the board, died, shorted the resistor, and that was game over for that board. But we have new life. Love never dies. 24 Opto PCB assembly. Man, my dryer is really loud. Maybe I'll turn it off and start over again. Yeah.